Okay, we're gonna start in Shavasana. Lying on your back. Let your body drop down. Allow gravity to move through you. Witness your breath moving through you. Allowing the body to settle in its own time. Anchoring awareness to the present moment through the body and the breath. Breath breathing you. Noticing the touch of breath in the sides of the torso. And just ever so gently encouraging the breath to move a little bit more sideways into the lateral margins of the body, so into the side body, feeling the rib basket expand out to the sides when you breathe in. Let's begin our movement inquiry by drawing the knees in toward the chest. Your hands can help if you like. It's called Apanasana. And then maybe a little sway side to side or a circle of the knees, feeling the back lengthen out. Now let's bring the feet down to the ground so the knees are bent. Resting your arms comfortably on the floor. Letting one knee drop out to the side like Baddha Konasana, half Baddha Konasana. And then bringing the leg back up to vertical. Let's alternate legs. Just let the knee drop. You don't have to push it or force it down at all. And maybe pause at the end range and then bring the leg back up to vertical. Let's do this a few more times. And when you bring the leg back up, imagine there's a weight on your inner thigh. So you're creating some resistance in your mind's eye. So the updraft or the upward motion of the leg is a little slower. After your second side, whenever that is for you, let's keep the left foot planted and slide the right leg straight. Right leg out straight. And then kind of slide the right leg further away from you. You might feel the right hip descend away from the right side of the rib cage. And then bring the leg up and externally rotate the leg. And if you're working with a belt, you can take your belt around the right foot, aim for either the toe mounds or the heel rather than the arch. The knee could be bent if this is a little too much too soon, if you're feeling a lot of sensation. Bringing the leg a bit closer into the body. And then if you like, straightening left leg on the ground. You can actively root through the left thigh on its own, and the left hand can also help. Let's bend and straighten the right leg a few times, drawing the knee down and then re-extending, just kind of getting a little more movement, dynamic quality into the shape. And then one of these next times the leg is straight, let's take a few more breaths with the leg straight or at the straighter end of the spectrum. Stretching the legs kind of away from each other. Now let's offset the left leg out to the left, or if you left the left foot planted, you can open the left leg to Baddha Konasana, and then we'll open the right leg out to the right, away from the midline. This knee could be bent, particularly if you're feeling most of the sensation in the knee. Turning the belly, turning the lower abdominals to the left to help keep the left side of the pelvis down. Bend the right knee to bring the leg back up. Let's pop the belt off and plant both feet again. Now we'll straighten the left leg and keep sliding the left leg away from you so that the hip moves away from the left side of the rib cage. And then sweep the leg up. Externally rotate, inner thigh spinning outward. If you're using a belt, placing it around the toe mounds or the heel. Draw the leg a bit closer in. And if you like, straighten the right leg. Actively rooting through the right thigh. Then bend and straighten left leg a few times. Eventually leaving the leg on the straighter end of the spectrum. And stretch the legs away from each other. Breathe down low into the abdomen, maybe all the way down into the pelvic floor. If the right foot is planted, you can let the knee drop out to the side, Baddha Konasana shape. If the leg is straight, let's offset the right leg out to the right a few inches, and then open left leg out to the left. Spinning the navel, spinning the belly to your right, staying heavy through the right side of the pelvis. You might want to bend your left knee to bring the leg back up. And then you can pop the belt off and set it aside and bring both feet to the ground again. Feet about hips width apart. Let's interlace the hands underneath the head for our spinal undulation. Arching to a back bend, rooting arm bones down on the inhale, curling up with the exhalation. So we make a gap between lower spine and the floor on the inhale. The hips stay down, we rock toward the tailbone, and then root through the lower back as you curl up. Elbows squeeze together on exhale, and root down to the ground on the inhale. Feel how the shoulder blades can move toward the spine as you press the arms into the floor. And then shoulder blades slide away from the spine as you curl up. Last few times, option to bring the knees in toward the elbows. Lightly landing the feet at the same time on the inhale. And curling everything in on the exhale. And then at the end of this one, whenever it is for you, returning your feet to the ground. Removing your hands out from underneath your head. We'll take our supine figure 4 here. Right ankle on left thigh. You could stay right here or draw the legs in with the help of the hands. The right arm threads through the hole the legs create. Encouraging right knee to move away from you. Release, feet back down to the ground. Second side, left ankle on right thigh. You can draw the knees in or the legs in with the help of the hands. It's really right knee drawing in and left knee moving away from you. Three-dimensional breath. Release the feet down to the ground. Interlace the hands underneath the head once again. Press the lower back into the floor. Bring the feet away from the floor. Let's bring legs up actually to vertical, rooting strongly through the lower back. We want to maintain that connection of lower spine to the floor and slowly lower the legs. When you feel like that low back is about to peel up off the floor, we pause there. Option to lift the head, keeping the elbows wide. And then release the head. You can plant the feet. And then we'll reach for the feet for happy baby, Ananda Balasana. Bring the knees into each other, roll to your side, and rise up to a seat. Okay, let's plant the feet for Navasana, boat pose. Hands under the thighs. Take your time setting up, lifting your chest. You can tip back so your feet just hover and stay right here. Or maybe shins are parallel to the floor. Maybe you stretch the arms forward. Let's lower to a cross-legged seat and interlace the fingers. We'll bring the bottoms of the hands together and draw some circles with the hands. Just to bring some sensation into the wrists. Switch directions. And then let the bases of the hands come apart as you describe a wave-like pattern. Again, we're trying to bring sensation into the wrists. Switch directions. Okay, and then just shake out the hands. And from here, let's come to all fours. I want this. So let's separate knees shoulder width apart and tuck the toes under in our all fours. So it's a little wider than you might be accustomed to with your legs. And hands shoulder width apart or a little wider. And toes tucked under, knees a little bit forward of the hips. Let's do some scapular push-ups here. So we'll allow the heart to melt down toward the floor and the shoulder blades to draw toward the spine. And then really push the floor away and lift up out of the shoulders, broadening through the upper back. So isolating through the upper back, keeping lower back still. Shoulder blades draw together as the heart drops down, the chest toward the floor, and then shoulder blades slide across the back away from each other as you push the floor away. And from here, you can walk your hands forward and find your downward facing dog. Let your head be heavy in your down dog. Let your bottom jaw drop away from your top jaw so teeth are parted. Okay, and then from here, let's walk the feet up toward the hands to Uttanasana. Let's separate the feet hips width apart. Option to bring the hands under the feet for vasisthasana. Palms are up, fingers point back toward the heels. Head is heavy. Remove your hands from under your feet and rise to stand. If you like, you can circle, sweep the arms, coming all the way up. Joining hands together at heart center. Positioning yourself at the top of your mat. Inhale, reach up, Urdhva Hastasana, upward hands. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift about halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Let's step back to plank pose. Lowering all the way down for Cobra, Bhujangasana. Inhale, rooting the tops of your feet, lift your chest up. Your exhale, press back, downward facing dog. The bottom of an exhalation, walk your feet up toward your hands. Inhale, lift about halfway. Exhale, fold a bit deeper. Inhale to rise from the ground up, knees can bend. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Step back to plank pose. Lowering with control. Let's go all the way down again for Cobra. Lifting your chest forward and up. Your exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Brush your spine with breath. Shoulder blades moving away from the spine, like they were when we were on all fours, pushing the floor away with the hands. The bottom of an exhalation, walk the feet up toward the hands. Inhale, lift halfway, chest drawing forward. Exhale, fold a bit deeper. Inhale to rise, all the way up, reach through the arms at the top. Exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale, reach up, heart rises. Exhale, fold forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, lift halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Step back, plank pose. Let's lower all the way down for Cobra. Elbows stay close to the body as you lower. Inhale, chest forward and up. Hands isometrically back and down. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Preparing for pigeon pose, bringing your right leg forward, left leg down. Some of you might want extra support underneath your right thigh all the way to the sitting bone. If it works to have your shin parallel to the front edge of the mat, cool. If it doesn't, you can slide the foot more toward your left hip. Let's come down onto the forearms. Actively root the top of the back foot into the ground. If you get knee pain in right knee, sliding the right foot more toward the left hip might likely resolve that. Let's add a little side bend to the right. So you might come up onto your hands again, and then particularly walking, stretching your left arm over to the right to work this line of energy through the whole left side. Maybe head comes down onto your hand, or maybe onto a block, or it's just more the floor. Breathe into left side, and imagine you could breathe just through left nostril. Let's rise back up to center. Plant the hands. Tuck left toes under. You could hover right leg in plank. Lower all the way down or halfway down. Inhale to your back bend, cobra or upward facing dog. Your exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Let's try pigeon on the left side, bringing your left leg forward. Right leg down. If it's not feeling good, you can experiment with bringing the left foot more toward the right hip. And then we'll come down onto forearms. Adding a side bend to the left. So maybe a little lift and turn of the belly to the left, and really stretching the right arm over, out in front of you to the left. Breathing into the right side. Imagine you could breathe just through the right nostril. Let's rise back up to center. Plant your hands. Tuck your right toes under. Maybe left leg hovers in plank. Lowering half or all the way down. Inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's float the right leg up and back into three-legged dog, keeping the hips level. With your exhale, place your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Let's keep the back knee lifted here and the left hand planted. We'll bring the right arm down to or toward the ground to the inside of the right foot, and then twist to the right, opening up. That's it. Take your time, continue the movement, lifting up through the left thigh the whole time. And then gradually bring the hand back to the ground, maybe floating your right leg in plank, lowering half or all the way. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take your time. Let's float the left leg up and back to three-legged dog. Keep your hips level. And then place the left foot to the outside of the left hand. We'll keep the right thigh lifting up toward the ceiling, the right hand on the ground, left forearm lowering to or toward the floor, opening up, twisting to the left. Eventually bringing the left hand back to the ground, perhaps floating left leg in plank, and as you lower, half or all the way. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's stretch right leg up and back into three-legged dog. And then bend your right knee and lift the right knee up toward the ceiling. And the right foot, send it over toward the left shoulder. Wrap the shoulder blades around the sides of the body. Keep lifting right knee up toward the ceiling. Straighten your legs, square your hips. And once again, we'll bring the right foot to the outside of the right knee, the right hand. And this time, let's lower the left knee down to the ground. Coming down onto your forearms, maybe using blocks to bring the ground a bit closer. Hug your right thigh in toward your body. Draw the chest forward through the gate of the arms. Rise back up onto your hands. Option to stretch the right leg back, floating it, hovering it in plank. Lowering half or all the way. Inhale to your spinal extension, your back bend. Exhale to downward facing dog. Let's stretch left leg up and back into three-legged dog. Bend your left knee. Lift it up toward the ceiling. And send left foot toward right shoulder. And the shoulder blades moving away from the spine. Almost like you could wrap them around the sides of your torso. Go on lifting the knee up toward the ceiling. Straighten the legs, square the hips. Place left foot to the outside of left hand once again. Lower right knee down to the ground. And maybe come down onto your forearms. You can place blocks under your forearms if that's too much. Hug your left thigh in toward the side of your body, just toward your body in general. Invite your sternum to reach forward. And continue to drive into the floor with your elbows. Let's rise back up onto the hands. Maybe hovering left leg in plank. Lowering half or all the way down, elbows stay close to the body. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Legs are active. Exhale to downward facing dog. Walk your hands back toward your feet, pushing the floor away as you do. Into Uttanasana. Let's circle the wrists here, let the head hang. Switch directions, circling the wrists. That's it. And then drive through your feet into the floor. You can circle sweep arms if you like, rising all the way up. And exhale, arms down through this ocean of energy into Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's take a wide stance for Prasarita Padottanasana. Toes point forward. When you're ready, you can fold forward. Maybe the head meets the ground or blocks. Option to spin the hands so the fingers point back behind you, and then to walk the hands back through your legs. Hands shoulder width apart or wider, so we're not kind of jamming at all. We're creating space for the collarbones and the chest. Bring your hands beneath your shoulders. Straighten your arms. Stretch your sternum forward. And then we'll bring hands to hips and rise all the way up. Take your time. Walking the feet in. Coming back to the top of your mat in equal standing, hands at heart center. Inhale, Utkatasana, bend your knees. That's it. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale, lift about halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Plant your hands, step back. You can go directly to down dog or through your vinyasa, lowering half or all the way. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale to downward facing dog. Let's step the right foot forward for warrior two. Stretch through your arms away from your center. Trikonasana, triangle. Straighten your front leg. Let your hips rock back as you stretch out over your right leg. Your hand might come down to a block. Turn through your ribs to open up toward the ceiling and maybe stretch through your left arm up toward the ceiling. Gaze can be up toward the extended arm if that's comfortable for your neck. Frame your front foot with your hands. Step back to plank pose, maybe hover right leg. Lowering half or all the way. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale to downward facing dog. Let's step left foot forward for warrior two. Straighten your front leg for triangle. Let the hips rock back as you stretch out over the left leg. Hand might come down to a block, inside or outside the front foot. Turning through the ribs up toward the ceiling, maybe extending through your right arm. Gaze can be up at the hand if that works for your neck. Frame your front foot with your hands. Step back to plank, perhaps hovering left leg. Lowering half or all the way. Inhale, back bend, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's step the right foot forward, this time for side angle. The foundation is the same as it was for warrior two. With the right knee bent. The right hand to the inside or the outside of the front foot, maybe on block. Turning through the ribs. And sweep left arm alongside the ear. Stretching, stretching, stretching through the left side from the outer edge of the left foot all the way through to the left fingertips. Be really active here in this reaching. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Let's bring the left hand back to the hip or to the hip. If you want to use your block, you can flip it to the high setting. Off to the side will be more accessible. In line with the right foot, more challenging. We're coming to balance on the right leg. Try to have your right toes forward rather than turned in. Turn through your ribs, and then maybe extend through left arm. Bend your right knee, reach the left foot way back to land lightly. Plant your hands. Maybe right leg hovers in plank. Lowering half or all the way down. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot forward for side angle, Parshva Konasana. Take your time building the shape from the ground up. You can bring the ground closer to you with the help of a block to create more length and more space throughout the body. Cultivating the length through the right side, actively reaching through the right arm and rooting strongly through the outer edge of the right foot. Half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Bring the right hand back to the right hip. Use your block on the highest setting. If it's in front of the foot, it's harder. If it's off to the left, it's a little more easy to balance, a little easier to balance. Turn your torso up toward the ceiling and maybe extend through the right arm. Softening left knee, Right foot lands super light at the back of your mat. Plant your hands. Maybe left leg hovers in plank. And as you lower half or all the way down, inhale to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Push the floor away as you walk your hands back toward your feet. And this time, let's turn the hands so the thumbs point out and the palms are down underneath the feet. Kind of lifting up out of the forearms to bring sensation there. Maybe into the wrists. Remove hands from underneath feet. And let's bring hands to hips and rise to stand or circle sweep. Bring your arms down by your sides to Tadasana, mountain pose. Okay, you might want a belt here. It's for extended leg pose. Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. So we'll start with the weight in the left leg and mirroring. You can bring your right knee up. Take the belt around the toe mounds and hold with your right hand. Left hand to the left hip, stretching the leg out in front. That's it. So you've got the length of, if you're using the belt, you can use the length of the belt to plug the head of the arm bone into the shoulder socket. You might be able to do that if you've got your foot as well. Plugging the head of the arm bone into the shoulder socket. So the shoulders are relatively in line rather than one rounding forward. From here, we'll take the leg out to the side, away from the midline, out to the right. Turning the belly to the left, maybe looking left. Okay, you can bend the knee and release the leg down. Rooting and rising through your right leg. Draw the left knee up. Either take hold of the foot or use your belt around the toe mounds. And then we stretch the leg out in front. That's it. So we're plugging the head of the arm bone into the shoulder sockets, like you're drawing it back if it's coming forward. Opening the leg out to the left, away from the midline. Turning the belly to the right. Maybe turning the gaze over right shoulder. You can bend the knee, release your leg, and set the belt aside. Okay, we're coming back to the top of the mat in equal standing or samasthiti. Inhale, Utkatasana, bend your knees. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Step back, you could go right to down dog or through the vinyasa to downward facing dog. Okay, from here we're coming into vasisthasana, side plank. So you might try rolling to the outer edge of the right foot and the inner edge of the left foot. They can stay one in front of the other, or if it works for you, you can stack your legs. And then same action we've been working with, we're turning the ribs up toward the ceiling and stretching through the left arm. Push the floor away. And see if you can bring the right shoulder blade down and in. Down the back and in like it would pop out through your chest. So oftentimes the sacrum will kind of droop back. So we want to bring the sacrum, bring the whole pelvis in line with the shoulders and the feet. From here, let's come right back in to downward facing dog. Vasisthasana or side plank, second side, spinning to the outer edge of your left foot and maybe the inner edge or even the whole right foot for more stability, or stacking the feet. Really turning through the ribs, stretching through the top arm. See the hand is a little forward of the shoulder. That's usually a little better for the shoulder than the direct stack. Push the floor away. And really the action that's most important here is the left shoulder blade moving down the back toward the waist, and almost like you could move it in toward the front of your chest. And then notice if the sacrum or the whole bum is poking back, bring it in line with the shoulders and the feet. Coming back to downward facing dog. And then let's lower the knees and touch into child's pose. A few more breaths here, spreading your breath across your back. Gently rising up to sit in Dandasana, legs out in front to start. Okay, and then we'll open legs wide for Upavishta Konasana. Toes point straight up, knees point straight up. Let's sweep the arms up alongside the ears. Root down through your legs. Let's keep the arms alongside the ears. So we enter the forward fold with a hip hinge. And then when you reach that first little edge, you can bring your arms down, either hands to the ground, or some of you can hold your feet. And then you can allow the spine to round here. Keep rooting through the legs, orienting the toes up. Slow, steady breath. Root down through your sitting bones to rise up. Bring your feet together in Baddha Konasana or cobbler's pose or bound angle. Let's elongate with an inhalation from root to crown. And exhale, fold forward. Stretch the inner knees away from each other. And just ever so lightly gather the shoulder blades toward the spine. Root to rise. Stretch legs out in front, Dandasana. Let's plant right foot to the outside of the left knee. Option to bring the left heel next to the outer right hip. Interlace the hands around the shin and hug in a little bit to lift up. So we almost find a back bend here. We do find a little bit of a back bend. Then we'll walk the right hand back and over, back behind you, over to your left. So you're already initiating the twist with that movement. And then let's sweep the left arm up, elongating left side. Keep turning through your belly, either hooking the elbow to the outside of the knee or wrapping the arm around the leg. That's it. Go on lifting up through the chest, crown of the head reaching up toward the ceiling. Gently unwind your spine. Stretch legs out in front, Dandasana. Now left foot to the outside of the right knee. Maybe right heel next to outer left hip. So take the shins around, the hands around the shin and lift up, spine rising out of the pelvis. And then walk your left hand back behind you and over to your right. So the twist is already started. Then sweep right arm up, really stretch through the right side, turn from your center and hook the elbow or wrap the arm. Collarbones floating up toward the ceiling. Gently unwind your spine. Stretch legs out in front. Paschimottanasana is our forward fold. Stretch arms up alongside the ears. And again, let's keep the arms alongside the ears. So we initiate the fold from the hip hinge. And then when you nudge into that first edge, you can bring your arms down and allow the spine to round evenly. Root through your legs. Be with your breath. Let's lift about halfway. Stretch your heart forward. And then come all the way up. Okay, from here, if you practice shoulder stand, we'll set up for shoulder stand. Using a couple of blankets is always my suggestion. Some of you might want to use your belt in a loop. The loop will be a little narrower than shoulders. You'll come into plow, and then you'll loop the belt just below your elbows. This will keep the elbows from splaying out wide. It's not a beginner move, but it's helpful. So our blanket setup is at least a couple blankets, at least one blanket. I strongly recommend. You can come into it whenever you're ready if you know it. I'm going to stack the blankets without any big wrinkles in them. And then the top edge of the blanket will meet pretty much the top edge of your shoulders. You're going to slide a little bit so you can go a little lower. So when you lie down, C7, which is the boniest of your cervical vertebrae, or the one that sticks out the most at the base of the neck, that one is on your blanket platform, but the rest of your neck is not. You can start in shoulder stand and then come into plow. I like to come into plow first to set the shoulders a little bit easier, a little more readily. So elbows tuck in. And if your elbows are splaying out wide, here's where you would take your belt. Feet have to be down here so you've got more support. Take your belt and you sneak it just above the elbows. And now they can't splay wide. You can tuck the shoulder blades a little more toward the spine. Lean your hips into your hands and then try to walk your hands further up your back toward your head. And then from here, stretching the legs up to Sarvangasana, shoulder stand. Driving the elbows into the floor. If you're newer, you can let the hips kind of shift a little away from you and the feet come more overhead. As you practice more, it might feel appropriate to be more vertical. Gaze is down at the nose, tip of the nose. Then you might like to come back into plow, halasana. for a little bit of a longer stay. Toes can be tucked, or you can press the tops of the feet onto the ground. We're still rising up through the hips and rooting down through the upper arm bones. Feet are secure on the ground. You could interlace fingers and work to straighten the arms down toward the ground. That might be another opportunity to bring the shoulder blades closer to the spine. And then if you've got the belt, be sure to pop it off. You can just slide a thumb into the loop and remove it. And then hands might support the hips as you lower, or they can come down to the ground. You want to lower with control. Let's let the arms drape overhead, just comfortably on the floor in a soft shape. And then if you use blankets, you can scoot the blankets down so they're creating a platform for your hips for a really mild bridge. So not under the lower back at all, just under the sacrum. And you can keep the feet planted here as we gently transition out of the inversion. It's normal to have a lot of big feelings here, a big sensation. See if you can just let it move through you. Witnessing that power of prana. And then whenever you're ready, you could just scoot the blankets down further so they're underneath your upper thighs or knees, depending on how big it is, that pile, or you could scoot it aside. But it might be nice, it's handy there for Shavasana. Making any other adjustments so that you're warm and comfortable. Let's just ever so gently rock the head side to side. And just a couple times, and then let the head roll back into stillness at center. And dropping into stillness and into passive awareness. And come back into the river of breath. Begin to move your body, gentle reawakening. And as you feel ready, gradually rise up to a seat. Thank you for practicing with me. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace to all beings everywhere.